I think we're live. We're live, everyone. Yes, we are. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new stream. And, well, I was not planning to stream something like this today. I was planning to stream the Tulsi Gabbard and, Cash Patel hearings, but, well, something happened last night that, well, we have to talk about. And we're here with Mr. John and Mr. Luke.
Hello, hello.
How's it going? How's it going, everyone? Very sad what happened. Prayers out to all the victims. We hate to see tragedies like this happen. Um, and I don't know what else
Pray
to
for the
say.
victims.
Yeah,
I hope we find out what happened because people deserve answers. That's
yeah.
what I'll
This
say.
whole for those that live under a rock, basically there was a plane that collided with a military helicopter near the Reagan National Airport in Washington D.C., and everyone's dead. Everyone has died, sadly. I think it was like 60 plus people, I believe. So, um, it just this came out of nowhere last night, and
Mhm.
again, I was planning to stream the Tulsi Gabbard stuff today, but well, some things take precedent for that. Now, before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, join the channel. Have any questions, concerns, comments, or just want to support the channel even further? Best way, send super chats via the chat. You know the drill. Super chats, best way your questions
You know
answered.
the drill. You know the drill, everyone.
But we we have to talk about this, and we'll also talk about the Tulsi Gabbard stuff in a minute. But man, what a horrible thing to have. Like, I mean, this is Sean Duffy's first day in the transportation
Yeah, very
secretary,
important.
and this is the first he has to deal with. You know, that's that's bad. But do we have any updates on like
Yeah, I gotta
anything?
run in get some Chinese food. I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Okay. Cherokee Bear for 2 ripped to the victims. Yeah, rest in peace. 60 people. I think there was the some kind of team that was on there. I don't know for sure, but let me pull this up. But yeah, so it was 60 plus, yeah, 60 passengers and 4 crew members died, and I believe there was 3 people in the helicopter. And for those that don't know, it was a Black Hawk helicopter. From what Pete Hegseth said, I believe they said it was a training exercise. I believe. Like, if I'm wrong, just let me know. But I believe it was a training exercise.
Right.
And
I believe that the helicopter was doing that, and then it crashed into the airplane trying to do training. I don't know. Maybe they weren't paying attention. And it's hard to tell.
I don't know.
Um,
I'm not going to show the video, obviously. There's like multiple angles, but if you watch the video, it sure looks like the helicopter went straight at it. So,
right. As of right now, it doesn't seem like we have collected all of the bodies. It looks like that as of right now. I'm only still seeing the update from a while ago that 18 bodies were recovered. So that's a few dozen bodies that we haven't been able to find. So please pray for those victims, the families, and of those victims, because not being able to see your loved one even after they pass is a horrible thing.
yeah, I don't think they're going to find the rest of the bodies. I just have this bad
Mhm.
feeling you're never going to see it again. But, let's
um,
see.
I want to point out there was a lot of insanity that came out after all of this. But it's funny, the most normal and healthy reaction actually came from the president. The post I just put in general.
Yeah, let me pull this up. Which, by the way, people lost their minds over, but let me get this up. Um, let's see. American Air for 5 wrap. This is a horrible thing that happened, but I don't understand how a military helicopter did not see an American Airlines plane in front of them. I don't know. Like, the whole thing, I don't know. We're not going to get answers for a while, I don't think. But yeah, let me pull this up. This is from Trump. He posted this last night. And he had a press briefing earlier today, which he went after certain people, but anyways, yeah, so this is what Trump said. The airplane was on a perfect and routine line of approach to the airport. The helicopter was going straight at the airplane for an extended period of time. It is a clear night. The lights of the plane were blazing. Why did the helicopter go up or down or turn? Why did the control tower tell the helicopter what to do instead of asking if they saw the plane? This is a bad situation. Looks like it should have been prevented. Not good. So that's what Trump said last night on Truth Social. He's right. This was a tragedy that could have been avoided. And, like, I don't think it was one person left. I think it was a bunch of people. I think the tower effed up, the control tower. I think the people that flew the helicopter, they effed up also. Like, because how do you not see a plane when you go straight at it for a minute straight, you know? But
It's going to be a lot hard. It's going to be a lot harder for the plane to see the helicopter. So it was really the helicopter's responsibility to get the F out of the way. I don't really understand why this happened. And again, my point is just that Donald Trump did not politicize this at the beginning. All he did was point out, it's just like, this shouldn't have happened. This doesn't make any sense. Here's the things that don't make sense. Let's get to the bottom of it. And that was our commander-in-chief's response to it. Unfortunately for us, we live in a country full of parasites that decide that we need to politicize everything.
Aaron
And
Rupert.
Yeah.
That freaking scumbag.
What was he doing?
So let me get this up. Aaron Rupert. For those that don't know, this guy's the guy that is on Twitter. He posts like those out of context clips of like people speaking.
Yeah.
And let me pull this up. Where is it at? He might have deleted it. He might have. Because it was such piss poor. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, where is it? Yeah. So this is what he posted, like, within minutes of this being announced. Headlines from a week ago as an incident near the DCA appears to be the deadliest aviation disaster in the U.S. since 9/11. And he posted this out of context headline where it's like, Trump guts key aviation safety committee and the fires head of the TSA. Which, first of all, what does it have to do with anything that happened here? The TSA, what does it do with anything? So he's claiming that it's Trump's fault that this happened. Within minutes of this happening, he immediately said, this is Trump's fault. Trump is the reason that this happened. I mean, just...
Yeah, you're right. I see that was at like 8:57 p.m.
Yeah.
And like, the one I wanted to bring up was at 9 p.m. It's like, so the point that we're making is like, these Democrats, they're so bloodthirsty for anything. I mean, they wanted to blame Trump for egg prices like 5 days after getting into office. Get dadgum, like minutes after a tragedy, when we're all like thinking about the people lost and we're like reeling from what happened, they're like, well, how can I make this Trump's failure? You know, permanent TDS. It's so bad.
It's Trump's fault that the pilot of the helicopter effed up. And the thing is, these idiots are wrong with the 9/11 thing. This is the thing that pisses me off the most. Now they care about 9/11 after they said January 6th is the biggest disaster in American history. After they basically piss on the graves of thousands of Americans after 9/11 for January 6th. These same assholes, now they realize 9/11 happened. Now they realize, oh, 9/11 killed thousands of people. But here's the thing, though. This isn't the biggest disaster since 9/11. The biggest disaster was 2 months after 9/11. It was American Airlines like 587 or whatever, and 200 people died. 60 people died here. So these assholes can't even get their facts straight. They're that lazy. They're so deranged. They can't do a simple Google search. This pisses me off so much. Unfucking believable.
What happened?
Democrats. No. Oh, go on.
What Rap's been telling the audience is essentially that, like, minutes, like while we're all still reeling from figuring out that this happened, Democrats are basically trying to figure out how to make this Trump's fault, and they're politicizing everything about it and trying to find ways to blame Trump through nonsensical angles. And Rap was pointing out just now the fact that they're hypocrites and they can't do basic research in Google searches. The thing that I wanted to point out about all of this is that they have no principles, and they're betraying their lack of principles when they do this, because it's like all of a sudden they transmogrify into these early 2000s Republicans the second that this happens. And it's like they advocate for all of these things that they fought against for decades in terms of like extra control and like, you know, they sound like Patriot Act Republicans now talking about all of this. And none of it's based on fact. None of it's based on evidence. It's all just like, well, how can I turn this tragedy against Donald Trump? And it's just disgusting.
Yeah. Let's see. K-Cup for 5. People like this don't care. They hate Trump so much they will try to change history to fit the narrative. These people need serious mental help. They do. They gotta be thrown into a mental asylum. Sorry, but true. These people gotta go. I mean, like, I never liked Biden, but I never said, oh, I want to make this Biden's fault when this tragedy happened. These sick bastards, they want it to be Trump's fault. They want disasters to happen to blame Trump. They want it to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
What, Luke?
I said exactly. That's all I said.
Okay. No, you cut out, so I don't know what you said.
And
Oh,
I think
I was just making a U-turn. Not probably ready.
with the implications of the attacks that they're making, if we actually thought through what they're saying that they want government to do in response to these things, it reveals that like they don't really care what they have to believe or think. They could be on any part of the political spectrum that they want it to be, as long as they're opposed to the bad orange man. They don't really care what they think or believe, and that's like one of the most like shocking things to me about this. And you know, it convinces me more. Maybe there actually is going to be a merge between, you know, neoconservatives being kicked out of the party and Democrats. Like maybe this is like the unholy matrimony we're witnessing in real time.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no,
Can you
it's really
imagine that?
ridiculous.
Like, you have,
Look, honestly, like, look at what RFK said in his hearing the other day. Like, he was right about that, where it was like, all these Dems used to be my friends, but then the second I, like, start working with Trump, they're all acting like he's the most schizophrenic guy on the planet, you know? Like, he was personal friends with, like, half these senators, you know?
yeah, and these same people 10 years ago, they supported what RFK was saying now. They supported it. But the second he switched sides, like, look at Elizabeth Warren. She is supposedly a progressive, but she shills for corporations now.
Yeah.
Can you
imagine
saying that 10 years ago? Elizabeth Warren is one of the biggest shills for Big Pharma. It's like, wait,
To
what?
be fair, she's always been kind of like a fake, she's kind of progressive ink. The way that we have kind of like MAGA ink on the right, like that's always how the progressive movement's seen Warren. I think Bernie's a more stark example.
Oh, yeah, Bernie Sanders, though, yeah. I mean, it's like, what Nick, can anyone name a radical position, RFK? Can anyone name a radical position of his? Just honestly, I'm trying to think of one.
Doesn't want chemicals in food because the food companies would never hurt us, you know, because they deeply care about American citizens. Don't you trust the companies, dude? Let the companies are being oppressed by the evil masses, okay? The poor, who will stand up for the poor private companies? That was supposed to be the Republicans' job, but now the Republicans have embraced evil working class populism. So the companies have no allies. It's very sad. Will someone think about the companies, dude?
That's real.
Right.
I did think of one. It took me a while, but I thought of one controversial opinion of RFK Jr. He doesn't want you fat.
What?
He wants you to lose weight. Get on the treadmill, fatty.
He's setting up the fat camps.
Yeah. And as a professional, like someone that's like obviously not a specimen of health, I agree with it.
No, it's like he's like pointing out our obesity crisis in America, and people are like, "How dare you?"
Yeah, it's like, but it's like again, like as someone that is overweight, like I agree with that. Like I'm trying to lose weight, obviously, but it's like it's just common sense. It's like, yeah, we have a health epidemic here.
As someone who used to be overweight, I really agree with that.
Yeah, I'm like for those that don't know, I am a bit overweight, but I've lost a ton of weight in a couple of years. So, yeah. Man Milk for 2. Short libs and neocons, a match made in hell. Yeah, it's a match made in hell. Mike for 2. I want chemicals in my food. Red 40 assistance.
So true.
We want the chemicals.
I fucking love seed oils. You will not take my seed oils from me.
Yeah. Let's see. Real fat politics. Oh gosh. I love seed oil.
Fat American politics. I'm kidding, Rap.
What do you say?
I said fat American politics because you said real fat politics.
I mean,
fat
you're not
American.
wrong. It just I've lost weight, so.
I know. Good on you. We all support Rap for his weight loss journey.
It's really crazy. Like if you see pictures of Tyrone before and after he went to like the military, I mean, like he was pretty tall, so like it wasn't a big deal that he was carrying weight. Like, I think he lost like 40 pounds over the process of that. Go just get, yeah. So yeah, if you want to lose some weight, just go to the military.
Yeah, go to the military. Yeah, go to
the.
Or
see.
just do what I do and take obsessively long walks, which
That's what I've been doing. So
yeah.
let's see.
I took a walk from 6 to 10 last night.
Damn.
I was like, it's not like a judgmental thing. It's like a large portion, like majority of Americans are fat. There's a large portion of our population that is obese, and you're cutting 10, 20 years off of your life. And like even the people that are fat and obese, like I don't think they care. They don't care that RFK wants people to be healthier. It's like he's not even like Michelle Obama. Like what did Michelle Obama want to do to make kids less fat?
Starve the
Starve the kids, make school lunches insufferably bad. Like that's not what RFK is even trying to do. Like I would understand if fat people or like normal people
You
just
want,
hated
like, the junk food to have better stuff in it too, so that you can have junk food without getting like fucking sick beyond belief, you know? Like
well yeah,
back
like
in the day,
he's not trying to make everything taste bad.
used to have all the shit they have in them now, you know? Like Michelle Obama was basically like, you're not gonna eat any more candy bars. RFK is like, we're gonna make the candy bars
No,
healthier.
Michelle
probably
Obama's strategy
taste
was just
better.
you're not gonna eat food in general. That's her strategy. So
You're gonna starve and you're gonna like it.
yeah. K Cup for 5. How liberals would vision nutrition German N-word RFK. Oh, I see you have some Chicago hot dog in your face. Get in the van. You are a porker.
Oh gosh.
Inari for 5.
Yeah.
I recently got into a healthy BMI, fat phobia the way, y'all. That was a chat for Inari.
WWW. Getting back to like what you were saying with RFK about all of his friends turning on him, it's even more deeply personal than that. I don't know if you guys saw the video. I think of his either sister or stepsister, who basically just like she released a video where she said that his entire career was a lie and a scam, and that he was a disgusting human being. And like I'm not correctly phrasing her. I'm paraphrasing, but like the entire sentiment of her video was essentially RFK Jr., my familial friend, brother-in-law, worthless human being. Like that was the sentiment of her video, and it was like horrifying. I felt sad watching it. I was like, good freaking grief. And I don't. What all I'm saying basically is like, RFK is not my guy. He's like not in terms of any other policy other than this health stuff. He's like not somebody that I would fall in the same line of political spectrum. But he's really been put on. I know, but he's really been put on the cross here, guys, and we have to show respect for that. Oh my gosh, this guy's gone through horrible things, and it's not just like senators or Congress people turning against him. It's his own family, which is a horrible thing to imagine going through. So
Yeah,
I definitely feel
like
him.
I think his cousin.
Okay, I just gotta say something real quick. It was nice being on, but I gotta go inside and enjoy this Beijing chicken I just got. So
Right.
Okay.
yeah, I'll be watching the stream though. So
Right.
I'll be inside.
The Kennedys are garbage sellouts. Well, they are. I mean, the Kennedys are just garbage sellouts that they don't give a shit about anybody, and they just bend the knee to whoever they bend the knee to. The Kennedy family are literally side of the people who killed 2 of their family members. That's a conspiracy still. You won't know for a month or so. Let's see. RFK Jr. is saying what guys like Vinny Tortilla and Sean Ryan have been saying for years. That is common sense. It is. It's just common sense. Like, get the crap out of the food. And, I mean, that's just half the problem right there. What they put in the foods now. You get rid of that, and obesity is going to go way down.
Well, one of the things I like about RFK's approach to it is that he's trying to remove things with inflammatory properties from the food, which has been shown to create drastic differences in the diets of Europeans and Americans. There's a lot of Americans that fly over to Europe, they spend a month in Europe, and they drop 20 pounds eating normal food just because there's a lot of all of the stuff that inflames your body in our food. It doesn't exist in the European food because they have strict regulations on all of that stuff. So, if he's able to remove those specific inflammatory things from a lot of our food, I think it'll drastically benefit a lot of people. And obviously, like, I'm getting a little personal here, but I am someone that struggles with an autoimmune disease, and I have to worry about what inflammatory stuff's in my food. So I'll be deeply happy if RFK removes stuff, and I'm able to eat a larger variety of foods because, I'm actually kind of limited in what I can eat. So, yeah, no, it's not, he's not tackling it from like let's reduce all of the calories that you eat. Let's like reduce how good the food you eat tastes. Like, he's just like, well, let's get rid of this stuff that actually harms people, that poisons people's bodies. And that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, it's just common sense. Now, and I think honestly, I think RFK could get through. I think, listening to parts of that hearing, say with Tulsi, it sounds like Murkowski might be a yes on RFK. She might be, but we don't know for sure yet. Me listening to this while in line at McDonald's. Again, like that RFK just wants to make where McDonald's is like not poison. So,
Well, and he wants them to go back to using beef tallow, which would be, I think it would generally be good. Animal fats have been coming back into. I don't think it's just a trend. I think they're just generally healthier to
oh yeah,
consume
they're healthier
than
and
these
they
highly
taste
processed.
better.
The highly processed seed oils taste worse, and they actually inflame your body more than just the regular animal fat. So
Yeah.
it's actually good.
Let's see here. It's all about common sense. Yeah, that's a Trump administration, just common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so by the way, Mike Rogers sounds like he's gonna run for Senate in 2026. Interesting.
Well, I mean,
Better
he
than
got pretty. He got close. We got close last time. Maybe he'll win this time.
yeah, well, he's going against probably like freaking Pete Buttigieg.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, he's got it. He's
Yeah,
got it,
I think
guys.
he's gonna win that race, but Murkowski, yes. Yeah, it sounds like Murkowski like asked a question like she agreed with RFK. So we shall see. Should the RNC adopt excommunication? Like with rhinos? I mean, yeah. I think they already do. Like, didn't Georgia GOP, they kicked that asshole out. What's his name? Burt Jones? What's that
No.
guy? No, what's his name? Not Burt Jones. It's a guy that you know what I'm talking about. It's Lieutenant Governor. That was a rhino.
Hmm. Yeah.
Let's see. I wonder if Perry Johnson runs for Michigan governor. I don't know, but I think John James would run for governor. So RFK wants to make things healthier, but not taste that take the taste away. Well, that's what he's trying to do. Just make it healthier and taste better.
I genuinely think a lot of the changes, if like fast food restaurants adopted what RFK wants to do, you would think that the food actually tastes better. I
Well,
genuinely believe that.
but just I don't get what the point is of going to seed oils. Why?
It was heavily it's because of what the agricultural department subsidizes. And so like
Oh, okay.
right. So we have specific subsidies for specific crops, which makes them cheaper and easier to produce. And you're able to extract all of these seed oils from these specific crops. And so we're able to get them. And the subsidies originally had a different intent, but this is the consequence. And sometimes we have to examine, well, sometimes good intentions turn into bad consequences, and we have to change laws. And this is, I think there's a heavy reorganization of farm subsidies that has to happen. And RFK Jr. is one of the only people that can help push that change. So yeah, I mean, I know he's going to be HHS, but he has also talked about wanting to influence the Department of Agriculture in
Yeah.
these decision-making things. So yeah, no, well, we want him in government, guys.
Let's see here. Lord Rhino for 5. All the inflammatory stuff is starting to be put in British food, which I hate. Don't know about the rest of Europe. Well, yeah. Europe is still holding on. They're not putting the seed oils in yet, but soon, unless they don't, which that'll be a good thing. American Nerd for 5. When RFK and Tulsi confirmations, be on the lookout for Susan Collins' thoughts on the matter, specifically if she's concerned or disappointed in them. So, I think she's, based on what she said during the committee hearing with Tulsi, I think she might be a yes for Tulsi.
Like she wasn't too antagonistic. I felt like if she was a straight no, she would have been a lot more antagonistic. But she seemed to be like very reasonable in the questions she asked.
And she agreed with
Um,
it, what she said, so.
yeah. Something really surprising to me was Ron Wyden
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah.
Oregon.
Oregon
You
governor.
saw that, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like he was actually being very positive. I don't know if he's gonna like vote no just because he's a Democrat or what's going on there, but he was like very cordial, amicable in that hearing. I have no idea what the crap's going on with that.
Yeah,
Um
so, I mean, his questions were actually like questions, not just what Mark Warner did. It's like, whoa, why are you the worst person in the room? You have 2 seconds to respond, and that's what he did. And she wasn't able to answer. So, let's see. K Cup for 5. My vegan friends try to high ground me with morals, yet I look at the snacks they buy and the stuff is just loaded with oils and awful for them. Yeah, never buy vegan stuff. Just don't. William Garrett for 5. I greet him 20 years old and we got ulcerative colitis.
Ulcerative colitis.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Ulcerative.
Yeah, at the age of 16, I hope RFK can help other people who haven't gotten an immune disease yet. Yeah, that's another thing. Which is odd that no one talks about that. Like, no one talks about the immune diseases that America...
Well, bowel diseases have, like, disproportionately increased. And the thing that's really interesting about it and why we need an expert investigating these things is that it is not universal. It is specific regions of the world with specific diets, and I think we can investigate the things in common between those diets and find it. And so, in particular, I don't know if you guys know this, but the place with the most bowel diseases, the highest percent skyrocketing in bowel diseases, is Israel.
Are you serious?
And that's what. Well, yeah. That's why they make all the bowel disease medication, is because they have to deal with it. It's the USA and it's Israel and it's a couple specific European countries, but like there has to be something in common between all of these countries, and I think RFK can get to the bottom of it.
All right. Let's see. We need more food that uses real sugar instead of artificial stuff. I agree. I agree with that. Help. Hold on. If Vance wins 28, does the cabinet change too much? No, it doesn't change that much. You might see a couple retirements, but it would be basically the same. Let's see. Lord Rhino for 5. Beef ingredients, cow vegan. Beef ingredients. Insert poisons here. Yeah. Yeah, vegan beef is just poison.
And here's the deal. Like, if some of you guys want to like lose weight via ketosis, and you don't have, and you're being suggested vegan diets, I highly advise against it. And here's what I would tell you: something that a lot of people in my communities have practiced. I'm in kind of devout religious communities. Look into YouTube seminars on water fasting. And yes, it is an actual, just like intermittent fasting works too if you just only want to like not eat 16 hours of a day or 20 hours of a day. But extended fasts, water fasts are actually really cool. Just look it up because there's like a lot of info on YouTube, online. They can actually change how your metabolism functions, and that's if you want to go into ketosis, just try water fasting. If don't do a vegan diet. It's water fasting is actually better than a vegan diet if you're gonna try to do ketosis.
All right.
I don't know.
Let's see here. Yeah, water fasting's a good thing. Yeah, I've tried it before. It works. It does work.
Yeah, and you don't have to do it that much. Like if you do like 1 or 2 extended fasts in like a period of 6 months to a year, your metabolism can actually be changed the entire rest of that period just by doing it once. And it's because you're resetting your insulin levels. That's really all it is you're just resetting your body's insulin levels. So I'm not telling you to trust me. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice.
No medical advice here. Just
go look it up. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, talk to your doctors, obviously. But I tried it before. It works. It does work.
No.
Let's see. We have to stop giving massive subsidies to the corn and wheat industries. I agree. Well, why do we give these industries subsidies in the first place? I don't really know.
Well, one of the main things that I think is important about agriculture is protecting our agricultural industries from other countries. It's this really weird thing where the entire world, there's like most of the countries in the world should be self-sufficient on food, but in reality, only like 9 or 10 countries are self-sufficient. And just in case the entire world falls apart, I really want the agricultural industry to be robust in the United States. So that's what I agree with subsidies on that front. But I think the argument that someone like RFK or Thomas Massey or other people would have for our agricultural subsidies, we subsidize the wrong crops. And we just need to move our money around and just like focus on self-sustaining healthy food instead of like agriculture that promotes making seed oils and all this other high fructose corn syrup and all this other crap.
Apparently, okay, someone in chat has said RFK called out Bernie for being a sellout.
That's so funny.
Well, I mean, he is.
Yeah, he is.
That guy, like, has he ever had, like, did he ever stand his ground on a single issue?
It's funny. I mean, he came into like the immigration debate last month, like trying to pretend he had a principle that he's held for 20 years about, foreign labor. But we all know his voting record, and we all know where he takes money from, and it's actually hilarious how quickly and swiftly he will contradict himself. It's actually embarrassing. I think he should feel embarrassed in himself today after the way he treated RFK. That's so dumb. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I just, like, these hearings are unbearable. At some point, it's like, should we even keep these hearings? If everyone knows how they're gonna vote, what's the point?
To ask questions, and the problem is that it's a pony show. It's a theatrical event because we have cameras in the room. And so what I think should happen, if you're going to have confirmation hearings and you're going to still let the Senate choose who can be in the cabinet, then you have the Senate hearings not televised, but you still make the vote public so that we know who did and didn't vote. I really think that's the end of it. If we want to do a separate thing where, like, we could do like an interview for the nominees so that everybody in the world knows exactly what they want. Like, I think that people should independently publish their concerns about a nominee and publish the advocacy for the nominee. Like, I don't agree with the theatrical event that we've created in televising these confirmation hearings. I think it's just poisonous to the whole process.
Let's hear Bradley for 5. Rap, did you see the new Wisconsin Supreme Court poll by RMG with Brad Schimmel up by 5? No, I didn't. Really? He's up by 5? Let's see here. Wisconsin Supreme Court poll. Let's see. I'm not finding anything. So, maybe it could be real, I guess. Maybe. But I'm not seeing it right now. I'll look for it, though. American Nerd for 5. 6 people in the American Airlines flight were members of the skating club of Boston who just participated in the U.S. Figure Skating Championship RIP. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah, the skating skating club, like Boston. Yeah, that's just, yeah, that sucks. It's real. Okay, RMG research. Well, RMG research is kind of just shit, but I'll try to find it. RMG research. I'm not seeing it, though. Yeah, chat, I'm not finding it. Schimmel. Okay, there it is. Found it. Finally. Alright, yeah, so Brad Schimmel's up by 5. He's up by 5 points over Crawford, which I think Crawford's screwed, by the way. For those that don't know, Crawford is the liberal candidate. She has a big scandal now. Basically, what she did was she promised Democrats, if they vote and support her financially, she will get them 2 congressional districts without any questions. That's what she said. That's a real email out there. So I think she's screwed, and now there's I gotta look it up, but there's a very bad story in this guy. Wisconsin right now. Let me find this. Yeah, so I gotta be careful with what I say here, but this is from Wisconsin right now. They have sources, they actually know what they're talking about. So this is a very bad individual that you could probably read here what he did. And Crawford released him on a $500 signature bond and allowed him to live across an elementary school. She held multiple bail hearings. And what happened was a local mother, they heard about this and they filed a petition to get rid of this guy, get him away from the school. And Crawford actually loosened O'Brien's condition. All right, so basically, they asked her, hey, can you not let this guy near her school? And she said, no. In fact, he can do whatever he wants.
What's up?
Oh, hey, Real Texan. So,
If
yeah.
you check what Real just put in general, that's what we're discussing right now. The
Yeah, so
Wisconsin
I
right
can't
now.
really. I'm trying to be careful because YouTube. I have it on screen, but I can't really say it. Yeah, so basically, she said these people go after themselves. Yeah, man. Then Crawford kept him free even after his conviction against a prosecutor's objection. She sentenced him to 2022 to 4 years in prison when he could have served 60. He is already out. He's already out of jail. So this is the liberal candidate. Like, this is why I say this is a Madison judge, which should tell you everything. And this is a problem with Democrats in Wisconsin. They can't run Madison judges. They got her away with Protasewicz because she was from Milwaukee. This is a Madison judge. She is just an open radical. She's insane. I mean, just think about it. This lunatic did some real bad stuff, and it's not good. Not good at all. Let's see. We need serious judicial reform. Lib judges, prosecutors, and DEAs are promoting literal child. Yeah, so you can't. You gotta get rid of these people. But yeah, I think there's a chance we get rid of Crawford. I think we beat her. But Republicans gotta be smart. They gotta be smart in Wisconsin. Yeah, and for those wondering, I'll go on.
I just hate the fact that these are Democrat elections because obviously the majority of people voting on this may not even be aware of these things. I really prefer judges to be appointments, and the reason I prefer them to be appointments is because one of the most accountable positions in this country is going to be the government that makes those appointments, and ultimately the buck always stops with the governor. So if you have a governor that's appointing horrible judges, you can recall them. You don't even have to wait for elections. Most states, I believe, you can recall a governor making these horrible judges. Yeah, that it's ultimately because these like local seats are not held to the same level of accountability as the state government is. So that's why I don't like them being elections at all.
Yeah, so as of now, like Luke said in chat, there's no ads yet because this came out like literally today or yesterday. So it's gonna be a couple days before they get on the air with this. But this is stuff that could kill a campaign. I mean,
Hopefully.
This is stuff that could what? What?
Oh, I guess my mic probably just brushed against something.
Yeah, so this is the Wisconsin candidate. Did Jan even run a stance type campaign? Oh no, she just ran on, you know, I'm likable and I have a funny
Abortion.
last name. Yeah.
I mean, that was in like the almost nearly direct aftermath of Roe. So, well, Dobbs.
About a year, a half year later. So, actually, a year. So,
yeah. So at that point, I was still like fresh in the mind.
Yeah, having judges win elections is really not the point of the system. Exactly. So,
no.
There's also similar accusations. Oh yeah, I know Schimmel has accusations that are bullshit.
Yeah.
And the problem with them is they used it in 2018 already, and it barely affected the race. He outperformed Scott Walker, so he'll be just fine. He'll be just fine. I think Schimmel's gonna win and be close, but I think he ends up winning. Unless something crazy happens. But yeah, people gotta look more into this judge because she is a nut. She is an actual nut job. Like, she's a radical. She should not be anywhere near the Supreme Court. No court. No court whatsoever. And Crawford, take guess what she's running on. I think we talked about this yesterday, actually.
Abortion?
No.
Or democracy? Oh, democracy.
Democracy, yeah. January 6th in democracy.
Democracy.
In Wisconsin.
It helps in Dane.
Yeah.
Where she'll get like 80% of the vote there, but
she is going to get wiped off the face of the earth in Waukesha. Sorry, I said it. She's going to get just wiped out there.
Wiped out fast and like smells. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Luke's saying that in Crawford's ad that they're talking about J6 pardons. I can't imagine why they think that hits anywhere. Do they think that people just forget Joe Biden pardoned his entire family and Anthony Fauci and not during Trump's inauguration. Fauci was earlier, but he pardoned
And
like his
and
whole
again, the
freaking family
whole January 6th committee, the whole
and
committee.
the whole J6 committee.
Yeah. So that's
So
what they're focused on. January
the
6th.
the people tasked with going after the people that Trump pardoned have been pardoned, which obviously means that they committed crimes. Like, you don't pardon someone who didn't commit a crime, or that there's so much wrong with it. It's worse than Trump's pardons, because the people that Trump pardoned had already been prosecuted, and like, these are preemptive pardons for the J6 committee and anybody else. It's absolutely ridiculous that they can even run ads on that when the people who created the prosecutions in the first place have been pardoned. What the hell? Like, I don't get it, man.
All right, American Nerd for 5. Members of the state Supreme Court shouldn't be elected but appointed. Remember, Roy Moore of Alabama was elected as Chief Justice twice, got kicked out twice. Well, yeah, it's like that's why it should be appointed. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
This election for judges are BS, and because I hate democracy, but for real though, it's like, I don't get why judges should be elected. They shouldn't be. They should not be elected whatsoever. I think that should be a nonpartisan, nonpartisan in quotation, obviously. It's like, yeah, you're not gonna get nonpartisans. If you say you're nonpartisan, you're full of shit. But, you know what I'm saying.
How much do you think Schimmel gets in Waukesha? Like,
Schimmel? Ooh.
yes, Schimmel. Yeah,
If
my
he
bad.
wants to win, I gotta say mid-60s. If he wants to win, like, decent
So maybe
margin.
something like, I don't know, 65, probably.
Yeah, if he does that, he's winning.
Mm.
Hey, Rap, is this a new Willie Horton situation? It could be. It could be. Crawford, January 6th protesters were pardoned. Wisconsin, yeah, but why should we vote for you, Crawford? Because January 6th, Schimmel, I like law and order. Well, that's the thing. That's the difference. She's running on nothing but January 6th, and Brad Schimmel's running on, hey, I'm law and order. I support law and order in Wisconsin. That's it. That's all he's running on.
Didn't we get polls in the middle of the last election cycle that were saying that, like, even Democrat voters and people in general were just sick of hearing about January 6th?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. It's freaking
People don't care
2025.
anymore. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I would say maybe as Schimmel's numbers start to go up, you might see Crawford start releasing the abortion ads.
I don't know. I mean,
Schimmel supported the 1864 abortion ban.
well, yeah, that's what she
He's
should run on, but
He's a
I
radical.
think it'd be too late. It'd be like a Dan Kelly situation if that happens. From the poll, 47% said they would support the Supreme Court candidate who supports Act 10, while 37% said they would back the one who opposes the 2011 law. Really? So, yeah, that's... she's in trouble. She's in deep trouble! I remember when people said Act 10 was unpopular, but no, it's actually, people like it here, Wisconsin. So, for those that don't know, Act 10 was what Scott Walker got recalled for. He pissed off the teacher unions and stuff, and he won. But, yeah, so it looks like people support Act 10. You know what, Schimmel, if that's a real thing, Schimmel should run on it, saying she opposes Act 10. I support it. Well, what are they going to do about it? It's a fact. The majority of people support, the plurality support Act 10. So, in 2023, did all the schizo people overperform Wisconsin? No. I see if the Supreme Court has term limits, then they should be elected. What? No, they should not be elected. I disagree with that. Because when you have them elected, they don't do their freaking jobs. They're worried about, I gotta run for re-election in 4 years.
No, it completely contradicts what the job description is supposed to be. A court judge is not supposed to be a political actor. A court appointee is supposed to be an expert legal mind that evaluates documents and executes what they're supposed to say. It like dictates what they're supposed to say based off of constitutional law theory. Like, that's not something a politician that runs for office is going to understand. And when you force those people to become politicians, they're going to be infinitely worse at their job.
Yeah. What is Act 10? It's a law that Scott Walker signed, a law like 2011, I think it was, and it went for the big unions, Wisconsin, the corrupt ones. And the teacher unions were not happy because, well, little known secret, the teacher unions control Wisconsin politics for a bunch of years. And, well, he dealt with that. So, Let's see. I was saying people will say we should elect and not appoint, and that's a bad idea because Supreme Court shouldn't be partisan. Exactly. You're supposed to appoint someone that's supposed to interpret the law. That's just a fact. Not, oh yeah, I'm a Republican. Or actually, no, I'm not a Republican. I am nonpartisan. Every time I hear nonpartisan, someone say that, they're full of shit. Usually they're the biggest partisans out there. That's what I've noticed. If you admit if you say you're nonpartisan, you're a partisan hack. So,
No.
let's see here. The teacher unions are never happy. Well, yeah. Not everything needs to be voted on. Well, that's a problem. Like California, they literally vote on everything. Like everything goes to a vote. It's like that's cringe. That's not the point.
Hey, have y'all discussed the hearings today?
A little bit. Let's talk about it more. The hearings with Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, and I think Kash Patel.
Patel. Yeah.
Well, he says the things that are here and we can't show. You can look it up on Twitter. He said some an interesting word that I can't say here.
Well, essentially, Kash Patel was saying that he had been degraded and he had been discriminated against over the course of his time working in public service and even as a child. And
was called an anti-Arab slur.
He was called, well, that's the funny part. It wasn't even the right racial slur. So like this was obviously a left-wing person who didn't understand their races very well. A right-wing racial slur would be accurate.
I just love that it'd be accurate.
These were left-wingers, yeah.
Yeah, the way you said it's like, you know, it's a white liberal that said it.
Or some white liberal calling him a racial slur because they didn't even understand which racial slur to call him.
All right, Mayor Baylor's for 5. Rap, do you think if Everest runs again in 26, he'll get smoked? Yes. I think if he runs, he's going to get crushed. He's not going to run, I don't think. But yeah, so I think Kash Patel is going to make it through the hearing. Do you guys agree? He'll make it through?
Yeah. I think RFK and Bernie had like a sparring match.
Yeah, they did. But because RFK basically told them he's a sellout. Which is true. He is a sellout. And I do think I think RFK might make it through. Murkowski sounded like she might support him. So
I was genuinely surprised. I actually think they may all get through now. I was worried about one of them, and that was specifically Tulsi. But then I saw a bit of Tulsi's hearing, and yeah, they're all facing heavy opposition. Yeah, these are very cringe and annoying things to watch. But like based off of the information I'm taking from them, I think that there may be enough support. Like even if we have some cringe Republicans that we may have some surprise yes votes on all of these nominees.
So I think Susan Collins is a yes right now. I can't believe I'm saying that, but she might be a yes. Her questions were like, okay, first of all, these are actual questions, not what frickin' Mark Warner was pushing. It was an actual question. So, American Nerd for 2. Did Patel say the F word about election or what? No, I wish it was the F word. He said a slur. So you take that.
He was being called a bad word.
Yeah. Let's see. Him and Warren are bought up by the pharmaceuticals. It's the open secrets. They are. When they say they want to reform healthcare, they're full of shit. They're bought up by big pharma.
Oh, did you see the tweet with RFK's running mate saying that she would primary any of the Republican senators that voted no on RFK? Oh man,
she's
savage.
She's worth like $1 billion, so she has money. Yeah,
that might be why Susan Collins would probably vote for him then.
Yeah, well, the thing with I think she should run for governor, Shanahan. So, California, but I'm glad that she's actually not pissing around. Well, it's like I'm surprised that of all people, Nicole Shanahan has become one of our top allies. It's just unbelievable that that's one of our top allies, but that's the Republican Party for you. You have to rely on people like Nicole Shanahan to get stuff done.
Elon Musk.
Yeah. Do we know more about Mrs. Crawford? What type of secular lunatic is she, and what type? I don't know. Who freaking knows? She's from Madison. Enough said. They better confirm Tulsi. I think Tulsi barely gets through. Barely.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And as for I think Patel is going to make it through. So, American Nerd for 3. Nicole Shanahan is awesome. She needs to run for governor of California. Run as an independent. I would support her.
Yeah. No, I mean that seems like a really good idea. I mean California's deranged and they don't have real elections. That was the thing I was going to point out earlier when you said like, well, California puts everything to a vote. Isn't it ironic how in the state where everything is put up to a vote, the place where California is where the democracy is supposed to be the greatest, it's actually the most diminished.
Yeah.
The least democratic state is the one with the most democratic votes, and that's because democracy like if you're going to have any democratic elements to your government system, they have to be targeted and precise, and if you just blanket throw it everywhere, it just turns into despotism.
Yeah.
And like that's what happened. That's California. It's a medieval fiefdom run by utopian elites. It's bad.
It's just one of those things where California, you have to run as independent if you want to win. Sorry,
Yeah.
but you have to. And now she might actually have a chance because of what's happened with the fires over there.
No, she can authentically run as an independent.
Yeah. Now, I swear, if freaking they run Bruce Jenner, oh my gosh.
Well, he's not going to win, so we're not worried.
Yeah, well, he might get Elon. Well, I don't know. Actually, if Shanahan runs, if both Shanahan and Jenner run, who would get Elon's money?
Probably Shanahan.
Probably, well, Shanahan has her own money, but
well, no, like Elon quote tweeted her, and like he was like, "This is awesome," and so I think like he has warm fuzzies for her.
Oh gosh. Let's see. Don't underestimate the ability of the GOP to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Well, that is Republican Party MO for the last, freaking 50 years? Which, by the way, isn't it just sad that Trump just proved you can use power as a Republican in a week?
No.
I mean, can you imagine the Republican Party for 50 years? I mean, in their 80s, they controlled everything. They controlled everything in the 1980s and early 90s, and they did jack shit. Trump in a day proved you can use power as a Republican. So, yeah. I can see Nicole running as independent in caucuses of the GOP. That's what she would probably do. But she's going to probably run for governor, hopefully. I would support her. I would 100% endorse her for governor, and I think people should vote for her.
By the way, did you see the McLaughlin polls yesterday?
Which one?
For the primaries,
Oh, yeah,
Republican and Democrat, yeah.
Rob is going down slightly, and Vance is going up. Does that poll have, like, freaking Trump Jr. in it or something?
Yeah, well, I was also talking about the Democrat poll.
Oh, God, what happened in the Democrat poll?
You didn't even see it?
No.
Oh, yeah, well, Harris is the front runner.
Yeah, let me pull this up.
That's not the big news, though.
What?
Ew.
Stephen A. Smith is a candidate.
What?
Yeah.
Are you shit? That's Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
No way. I refuse to believe this. But I literally have it pulled up here. Oh my gosh. Stephen A. Smith is at 2%. He's pulling higher than Beto O'Rourke. That's beautiful. Pritzker is at 1%.
I mean, hey, if this is all good news for us, have you seen an uglier Democrat bench than this in your life?
The fact that the sad part is Stephen A. Smith might be their best candidate. That's the funny part.
Out of nowhere, Deval Patrick.
Yeah, Deval Patrick's 0.2%. So yeah, freaking, you could argue Stephen A. Smith might be the most electable Democrats.
So yeah, based on these polls, the front runners for the election is going to be Vance versus Harris.
It's gonna happen, isn't it? They're gonna run Harris.
I love it.
Please.
I genuinely wanted Vance and Harris to be in a debate together because it's like the exact opposite. It's like it's opposite world where Kamala Harris, did whatever she had to do to get power.
Yeah.
And so she and it was through disgusting ways, and she basically never earned anything that she got. Whereas Vance dug himself up from the freaking dirt, the freaking grime, the abandoned part of this country, and then he did everything to get himself rapidly climb up to where he is. So it's like they're polar opposites in terms of whether they deserve to be where they are right now. It's
I
amazing.
hope it is Vance versus Harris, and Vance would completely slaughter Harris in the
Oh
debate.
yeah, that would be a bloodbath. That would be a bloodbath.
It would not even be close because I think Trump. Trump, I mean, Trump kind of has faults with debates. Like he's kind of easy to be.
Yeah, Trump wins debates, but it's not the decisive. Well, outside of the Biden one, it's never.
Trump is easy to be baited.
Oh yeah.
Vance, I don't think he is.
Well, like think about it. Like Harris was terrified of doing interviews with non-adversarial reporters. Where like with journos that actually liked her and wanted to help her, she was scared of doing doing stuff with those people. And my point is just very simply that if she's terrified of that, while Vance goes around whipping these people's butts on a daily basis every single time he gets put out there, like imagine the difficulty and scale. Like he's like twice as good against Harris as he is against those journos because she's just that bad.
I gotta go. See you.
All right. Let's see. Lord Rhino for 5. Does the California rig? I'm not gonna say the rest of that. California elections are a shit show. That's what I'm gonna say. Drunk people politics for 2. Tiffany's to MAGA for Wisconsin 2026. We need to ride Ribble. What? American Era for 5. Rap, did you see the poll for Republican primary in Ohio governor? It's concerning to say the least. I think Vivek's gonna win the primary. K Cup for 2. SCS or Stephen A. Smith in a Democrat debate. You're wrong, and here's why. But it's like, we're gonna get Harris versus freaking Vance. It's gonna happen.
It'll be great.
Can you imagine that debate? Does Harris win a debate in 2028?
Probably not a single. Oh, maybe like in a Democrat primary where she's with similarly terrible people,
like Buttigieg, Newsom, AOC, probably.
Like I can think of people as competent or mildly less competent, and that's a really sad statement to make.
Yeah,
but,
less competent than freaking Kamala Harris. Wow,
yeah, she could win a Democrat primary, but the second she's in the general, she'll get slaughtered.
I'm just looking at this list. It's like, this is a Democrat second. They're getting more than 1% of the vote. Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro, Tim Walz, AOC, Gretchen Whitmer, Booker, Klobuchar, Wes Moore, Stephen A. Smith. These are the people who are getting more than 1% of the vote. Man,
I'm friends with school shooters.
When Tim Walz is getting... Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh.
Ron Harris, go ahead. If you want to run Harris to stop Vance, go ahead. See what happens. Can you imagine? Vance wins in a landslide. There, I said it.
No. Oh no, I would be so happy. Like that's actually like New Jersey turns red territory. Yeah. That's like Virginia maybe. Like, bro. Oh, yeah, that'd be bad. Please run Harris.
Drunk people politics for 5. Reed Ribble is in your worst Republican former reps list. Oh, that's right. He was a rep for Mike Gallagher's seat, and he's an ever-Trumper in neocon, aka electable. That's not electable, bro. American Nerd for 5. If Harris has to run an actual campaign, how does she do in the primaries? And if she wins that, who would be her running mate? You know, I didn't think about that. Could she win a primary?
Well, I think that's going to be the main thing, is she's going to have stiff competition in the primary. And if Democrats are actually watching the primary, which they probably will be since they are like terribly buck broken after spending almost 2 decades not choosing who becomes their president. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that they definitely will be tuning in. It's a chance, like maybe the best actor will win. Maybe AOC like wins over her with her stunning horse-like charisma. Maybe she wins over the hearts and minds of the Democrat base. I don't know.
Now, who would be her running mates? I don't freaking know. They're gonna pick some generic white guy again. Walz. Which again, I cannot believe they actually they thought Tim Walz was a good idea.
What if they doubled down this time and then made the ticket Harris and AOC?
All right, Lord Rhino for 5. I don't know. Oh God, they would lose even more sports. Lord Rhino for 5. I still can't believe Biden wouldn't debate Trump originally and then try to blame him for the debates not happening. Oh yeah, they try to say, oh, it was Trump's fault. It was freaking Trump pushing the debates to happen. And they're like, no, we can't
Yeah.
debate. Because our guy's senile. Turn New Hampshire red. You know, and the question is, who's going to be Vance's VP? That's actually a better question.
Oh yeah, it's way more interesting. Way more interesting of a question.
I have a gut feeling it's
It-
Rubio.
I keep saying over and over again, it's 4 years out, so this is like, I guess you could call this a scapegoat. I think they're just going to look at polls and decide from
Yeah,
polls.
probably. It's like whoever
polling
pulls
data.
second against Vance. Pick them.
Yeah.
Tony
Yeah.
Ventilo stand for 2. Would Vance do better against Harris or AOC? Ooh. That's a tricky one. Who do better against Vance, Harris, or AOC? I don't know. Pick your poison.
AOC probably because she's younger.
Yeah, maybe you should get the progressives out more excited, I guess. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know.
She is pretty awful. Like, again, the main thing, and this is the scandal behind most of the Justice Caucus, the person who sits in the representative seat is not your actual representative. AOC is not the representative for her district. AOC is a theater puppet that auditioned of going from a Starbucks barista into a congresswoman. There is a soy drinking 100-pound millennial man hiding in the shadows, writing communist literature, and that sometimes gets turns into bills that AOC puts forth. But like that's when you vote for AOC, you're actually voting for a soy communist hiding behind a shelf or something.
That's actually true.
Yeah, no. You can look into the Justice Caucus. It's pretty much the story for all of them. They're all actors. They're not real.
All right, American Nerd for 5. 2028 Democrat primaries will be such a shit show that voters will just vote Vance. Third party will just stay home because the Dems are incompetent. Basically, I mean, who's going to vote for Harris? Who? If the economy booms and then Vance runs, like, who's going to vote for Harris?
Nick Fuentes.
Oh, gosh. PK for 2. Which of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania is most left trending? None of them are really left trending. Wisconsin just stagnated in 2024 because Luke went over it a bunch of times. But, you know, it's... I guess Wisconsin technically, though...
Mm-hmm.
I think Pennsylvania's gone for Dems. That's what I want to say. Oh, they're in deep shit there in Michigan. Hey, Rap, which direction is DNC going to go on the subject of electoral strategy? Wickler's probably going to win, so what is going to be their electoral strategy? Oh, their strategy is going to be triple down. They're triple down the scrap.
They've pretty much already told us that's what they're going to do.
They already are. They're already blaming Trump for the world's problems again. And people are not falling for it again.
I mean, if they were really smart and they wanted to maintain a semblance of power, they would be pivoting really, really hard right now. But they're not.
They would, if they were smart, they would pivot to be moderate.
Yeah. All of them.
Yeah. Like, we kind of saw that early on in late 2024. But I think what happened is they all got threatened with primaries.
Like, the problem is they really have to reel in their base. Their base, the 20% of people that always vote Democrat, they're hyperpensity voters, they're so far detached from the actual American voting base that it's impossible to reconcile them. So if they were smart, they would spend 4 years de-radicalizing their base
I don't think they can.
so that they were... Yeah, so, well, like, they may not be able to because it's a religion, but the main thing that I would, if I were stuck in that position, I would try, like, I would try,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
they don't.
The way you put that is actually, like, smart. It's 20% of, like, America, there's radical left. And, like, that's what people understand. Like, when you look at these polls that are just, like, 80% of Americans agree on one thing, it's always, like, half of Democrats are opposed to it no matter what.
Yeah.
They support or oppose a radical position no matter what. And that's like 20% of the country. So these people are radical. They are actual radicals. These people, even the other Democrats, like, yeah, they're not going to vote Republican, but they're not like these schizophrenic, like, nut jobs.
Yeah.
So that was a good way you put it. It's these, not good. Not good. And speaking of that, we do got a video of what Bernie Sanders said to, or RFK said to Bernie. Let me pull this up.
Oh my.
All right. Let me get this up, actually. From Kelvin Coolidge Project, like usual, go follow him on Twitter. Let me pull this up. Here we go. Okay, let's see what he said here. Let's see what he said.
I'm going to make America healthier than other countries in the world right now.
Will
we're the
you
sickest.
guarantee do what every other major country
And-
does? It's a simple question, Bobby.
And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies, it's in Congress too. Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry
Oh, no,
and
no,
protecting their interests.
Oh, I thought that would come. No. I ran for president like you. I got millions
know.
and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
In 2020, you were the single largest
Because I had
receiver of
small
pharmaceutical money.
contributions from workers all over this country. Workers,
You were the
this is not,
single-
not a nickel from corporate
Bernie,
tax.
you were the single largest acceptor of
working-
pharmaceutical dollars.
I can't watch. Bernie Sanders lost it. Freaking, like, if you didn't watch a video, John, basically he said, like, oh yeah, I got the most money from pharmaceutical companies, but those were the workers that gave me the money. They're all hardworking, like, blue-collar people. Like, you're so full of shit, dude.
Small dollar contributions. Look, how am I supposed to trust a single solitary Democrat who talks about small dollar donations when they have a money laundering system that allows them to transform massive billion-dollar donations into small dollar donations? Fake ones that Project Veritas has already shown are made by people who don't even know that what? I made a $10 donation to Bernie Sanders? I didn't know that. And it's because they didn't. It's because their names are fraudulently being used to turn massive donations into small dollar donations.
Yeah.
It's a load of crap, and Project Veritas blew the cap on all of it.
Yeah, and for
It's
those
so
that
stupid.
don't know, what they do is they literally, like Johnson, they take people's real identities, pretend they're donated to Democrats, but what they do is they mysteriously find money from unconventional means, and they end up in their bank accounts. That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's how they get these massive fundraising hauls. Do you really think that these people donate $20,000 a year to Dems, legitimately, and there's like 10 million of them? I call it bullshit.
Yeah, no.
They're full of
It's
shit.
bullshit. It's bullshit.
So they exposed the Dem scheme and people let them off the hook. No, apparently, I think Ken Paxton is going after them in Texas.
Yeah, no, there's a couple people going after them. I hope that the DOJ goes after
They
them.
should.
Like, legitimately, this is something that is it's a national issue. It's a national security risk, to be completely honest with you. But like, in terms of just general politics, this is a dishonest way of getting funding. If we care about campaign finance reform, this is the first place to target is people for using people's names fraudulently to distribute money. That is how anybody's okay with that. It's a complete mystery to me.
And there's one of two ways to deal with it. You either make where they can't do that, or you got these corrupt programs where we give our tax dollars to some weird organization that gives the Democrats, like Trump's doing right now. So I think they're doing the second part, obviously. Like, I think DOGE found was like $50 million going to Gaza for condoms.
Right. I think Data Republican found the NGO thing. They misspelled, by the way, in the NGO database, they misspelled it so that it would be harder to find.
Are you
I like
serious?
they said in Gaza, but they squished in and Gaza together. So if you wanted to look it up on the database and find it yourself, you had to type in Gaza with no space in between the two words.
I gotta find
And
it.
And I think Data Republican said it wasn't actually 50 million. I think she said she found like 86 million, although 50 million is the figure that Donald Trump cited and Caroline Leavitt. So the White House says 50 million. I think the figure Data Republican found was literally
I found it.
$86 million.
So what Democrats tried to do was they found a separate grant that was for like a different Gaza in like Africa. And they try to spin this as, well, that's proof that Data Republican's full of shit. Which, by the way, go follow Data Republican. It's a great account. She's done a great job. And I think Elon Musk even followed her or something. But, yeah, so what she said is they found two separate grants. There's one in Gaza for STD prevention for Mozambique. And it's Gaza, Mozambique. It's $83 million. And they found, specifically the Gaza in the Middle East, $50 million. Going for, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Man, what a
and so
great system.
yeah, it's awesome. And by the way, I know I've been shilling Data Republican a lot recently, but she just got shilled by Elon Musk,
Yeah.
which is really funny. And she got, I think she got 50,000 followers over last night and the night before. So,
Well,
but
she's
like,
doing good
yeah,
work.
no, she's doing great work. She's exposing this. I think it's disgusting. Basically, think about the warfare we're engaged with these bureaucrats, where they want to make it impossible for us to find the way that they're burning our money. And
No.
like this is like not even just like normal government waste. This is government waste that allegedly is being used to help develop explosive materials inside of Gaza. I don't know what chemical they're using inside of condoms to do that, but if that's what the actual reality is, or whether or not it's the reality, it's still horrible. But it's just does anybody not like the fact that you're like either your money is being used for STD prevention on another continent, or you're literally you're sending money to go bomb other children in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that like how's anybody okay with that? That's oh my gosh, like that's just no. Ugh.
It's just like, this is not a parody. And it's like, people are saying, and I'm just making a big deal, like, excuse me, people make a big deal about, like, oh, well, that's not the right Gaza. Who gives a shit? Who cares if it's the one in Africa or the one? It doesn't matter. Why is your money being spent on this? Why? $80 million. Question, how many people lost their homes in North Carolina?
I think it's in the tens of thousands, I believe. I think it was like I think of 73,000 or something like that. I'm spitballing off of my brain.
I'm trying to think here. If chat, someone knows, let me know. How many people lost their homes in North Carolina? 70,000 homes. Okay, 70,000 homes are destroyed. Okay, so we spent 80 million on freaking this crap in Africa. Just this alone, we could have given each household $1,000, which is not a lot, obviously, but better than $200 that Joe gave. For $200 and that's it. We could give each household $1,000 to start with, and of course spend more. But it's like small things like this. You keep adding up. It's like 45 million here, 10 million here. You add it up. You're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars we have no clue about, which is the scary part. We don't know where this money's going. Like, this money's not in the official budget. We have no clue where it's going. It's just gone. It's just a black hole. So, and that's what DOGE is doing. They're finding hundreds of billions of dollars that we have no clue about. It's like, wait, STD prevention in Gaza? Both Gazas? Really?
Yeah.
It's with the math here. It's like, that's like 1 billion condoms.
Well, here's the really funny contradiction I find in it. And it was really funny because one of the senators actually brought up I forget which hearing, I think it was Cash's hearing or Tulsi's hearing, that like he believed strongly in the Senate and in the Congress's power of the purse, how they control the money flow.
It was Wyden, I think.
But what you're looking at right now is the direct abrogation of this responsibility to unelected, faceless bureaucrats who are using your money for not just like random nonsensical things, but for actually nefarious and evil things. We are harming people across the world with taxpayer dollars that could be going to these people suffering in America. It's absolutely like, and I saw this article, I posted it in general for you, but like it says 200,000 people were impacted by the housing damages in Helene, and that 100,000 homes were damaged or destroyed. So even more than what I was first like citing in this WLOS article, 100,000 homes. And so yeah, at this point, I think in the previous forms of this conversation, because we've talked about government inefficiency and government waste for a very, very long time. It's a centuries old conversation. But right now, the reason more people are waking up to it is because it's not just fiscally conscientious people concerned about this now. It's people concerned on a moral basis about where is our money going? Who are we harming with our money? And who are we not helping with our money? And these are really important questions. And it seems like the previous administration, the bureaucratic administration Trump is fighting every single day, is dead set on not only wasting your money, but using it for evil. So that's
Yeah,
the
they
problem.
They literally want to like waste your money and got nothing, and we don't know. Again, and they told me the power of the purse. We don't know where it's going. Who the hell knows? Yeah. We just say, oh yeah, Defense Department, here's $1 trillion. Yeah, you really think $1 trillion going to the military? If we gave $1 trillion to the military every year, legitimately, you're telling, oh my gosh, just the more you think about this, it's so obviously a scam. But I'm glad
if Senator Thune and the rest of the Congress want to sit on their little porcelain throne and determine how much money goes to mass deportations and Tom Homan, if they want that power, why do they not take back their responsibility and their accountability for all of this crap money we're wasting?
Yeah. I mean, DOGE they've had DOGE for a week and they've saved like $30 billion. Just by doing a simple freeze. That's all they freaking did. They did nothing else. They signed one order and they saved like $2 billion a day. I mean, that's just unbelievable. It took 5 seconds to do that. But yeah. Let's see. Remember Lindsey Graham defending U.S. spending on gender studies schooling in the Middle East? Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. But it's like, that's the fiscal conservative, everybody. They don't give a rat's ass about actually saving money. They don't. They're some of the biggest. They spend trillions on crap. It's just not on the American people. Neither party did. One party spent it on God knows what, probably their own pockets, and the other party spent it on a foreign war in the Middle East, and they also their own pockets. But yeah, that's truth in it. American Nerd for 2. Citizens United is the worst Supreme Court case. No. Not by a long shot. There's some bad ones. Even at Citizens United, I think the Supreme Court went too far, but that's my opinion. Anyways. Alright, let's see. That's how DOGE is saving $1 billion a day so far. Well, yeah, they just did common sense things. They called it a day. Who should we primary Lindsey Graham with? My money's on McMaster's. Well, isn't McMaster's, like, old? Like, isn't he 80? Let me check.
I think so, yeah.
South Carolina. Henry McMaster, 77. I mean, I like McMaster, but he's just too old. He's too old. But yeah, I think Lindsey Graham's screwed, though. I think he's gonna get cooked. Hopefully.
The second I felt like Lindsey Graham's career was cooked was like he was doing an interview with Sean Hannity on Fox News, and he like explicitly said, like, he let out the cat out of the bag accidentally, that like one of the primary reasons the US is even concerned about what's going on in Eastern Europe is because there's like mineral resources in Southeast Ukraine we want really badly. And the second is like, I was thinking about the audience listening to Lindsey Graham saying that and like how they feel about all of the like 1.4 million lives lost and just in the armed forces alone, and like all of this money spent overseas while we're handling disasters at home. Lindsey Graham's like, yeah, but the minerals, you know,
the
like
minerals,
the minerals,
like,
bro.
Don't we have minerals here?
Yeah.
Don't we have that shit here? So what's the point?
We have lots of minerals that people won't even let us use in the United States because they're dumb, like they're the dumb version of conservationism. So
yeah, it's not the real conservation. It's like, oh, you can't even touch a worm because that's gonna harm the environment.
Can't touch the smelt.
Yeah. American Nerd for 3. We need a convention of states to deal with this. That's never gonna happen. Sorry, convention of states never gonna happen. Because even if it did, it'd be such a freaking shit show. Nothing would get passed. So it wouldn't matter.
I'm hearing reports that Luke Gagnon is a Democrat plant. Orlando Owens said this is to his live stream last night, and I trust Orlando's judgment. Is this true, Rap?
Chunk People Politics for 5 year reports. Oh, gosh. Orlando Owens, listen, he is certainly a character. No comment. That's what I'm going to say. No comment. At least he was honest. If it gets war in Ukraine, but at least natural resources are vital. Well, it's just, they're full of shit. And that was Lindsey Graham making a mistake. He's so stupid he doesn't realize, oh wait, that's not what we're supposed to say. We're supposed to say democracy. Not because of freaking minerals.
Well, yeah, no, it's Tom, it's not about like the actual utility of what he's saying. It's about the optics of it. And Lindsey Graham torched himself by making that comment because he betrayed the narrative. He betrayed the narrative that they forced down our throats for 2 years. Like that's the problem. It's not like the material reality of what he said. It's the fact that he basically admitted he lied to us for 2 years. Like that's the problem.
No, it was about democracy, but we found these rare minerals. But it's like, it just like doesn't make any sense either, because every fucking day America finds like this rare resource. It's like that one meme where it's like there's a fucking shortage of like a certain like resource, and like everyone's panicking saying this is the end of America, and then a day later we find like this like billions of dollars worth of resource like underneath their feet.
Well, like, imagine like if Lindsey Graham showed up in February of 2022 on like Fox News, and he was like blowing smoke out of this massive pipe, and he's like, "Yo, bro, look, I know you guys don't like wars, but like minerals in Southeast Ukraine, bro." And like
Yeah.
it would have been honest, but do you think we would have been supporting the war this long if that was how he opened? Do you think we would still be doing it if
Oh, hell
he was
no.
just honest up front? No,
Yeah, the
like
war
there,
in
yeah,
Ukraine,
no,
like
no.
we would have stopped spending immediately. If that's what people realize, which people are starting to realize, oh wait, this was never about democracy. This is all freaking people pocketing money. That's what it came down to. People pocketed $100 billion, but at a minimum, probably freaking triple that. But
The lesson we learned 20 years ago was that when your government lies to you about why they're supporting a war or going to war, you're supposed to disagree with that on its front. Like, you need to go to war for like honest reasons. They can be reasons that people don't like. Like, if they're not honest with us, then they need to stop spending our money now.
yeah, it's like that's a good point. Like the war in Iraq, they lied to us about that. If they were
Yeah.
honest, people would have opposed it. But like, why it became unpopular so quickly was because people realized the bullshit. It was not about weapons of mass destruction. All it was a topple Saddam Hussein. There, I said it.
Yeah.
It's the only reason.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I know, which I think most people woke up to this now. It's been 20 years, obviously. But Saddam Hussein was the only person keeping Iran in check in the Middle East. The only person. So we get rid of one guy keeping it stable? I'm not saying he's a good guy, but like, that's why the foreign policy was a disaster outside of Trump the last 30 years. Because of philosophy of like that. Get rid of the one guy keeping the region stable. Congratulations, you played yourself.
And see, the problem with allowing people to go to war on false pretenses in America, or letting our Congress people take us to war under false pretenses, is that when the real reason comes out and they always just pretend that wanted the original thing, they don't get disqualified, they don't get demoted, they don't get fired like they're supposed to. They actually get promotions, and then they get to make even more important decisions than the last ones they screwed up, which is not the way a meritocratic system should work.
Yeah. Let's see. Gulf War is just fine. Exactly. That's what people understand. The Gulf War, they were honest about it. It was honest and it contained Saddam Hussein. They were honest saying, hey, look, he took the oil fields in Kuwait. That's not a good thing. So we have to take it back. They're honest about it. It wasn't, oh yeah, no, we care about Kuwait democracy. No, fuck that. No one gives a shit about Kuwait democracy. It was about the oil fields. If they would have came up front and say that's what it was in 2003, people would have opposed it, but there wouldn't be the outrage as there was. So
it wouldn't be the same thing, and hopefully, like, because they did it on honest principles, when we realize how stupid of a foreign policy decision that is, maybe they would have actually been fired.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe yeah.
But now it's like they're encouraged to lie to people, and when they get caught, they just claim, oh no, that was never the intention. No, it was always what we said, and you can't do anything with that.
I'm either a liar or I'm incompetent. Either way, give me a promotion.
Yeah. And that's what happened. That's how Mark Milley got his position.
Yeah.
He just lied. He was incompetent, but he kissed someone's ass so much he was able to get the chief of staff. So, what about the war in Vietnam? The war in Vietnam was a shit show. There's a bunch of reasons that happened, but the war in Vietnam was just a different animal completely. So, we can't reward Putin for his war crimes. No one here supports Putin. I'm just saying, like, we were involved in a war for a lie that everyone knows was bullshit, and they keep lying about it. Even to this day. They're still lying about it 3 years later. Oh yeah, this war's about Ukraine. No, it's not. It's not about democracy. They don't give a rat's ass about that.
Yeah.
Because if they did, why do they allow a pro-Russian puppet for 30 years to be there, the president? Why? They're full of shit.
And one of the interesting things about why and when we wage war as a democratic republic, is that a lot of it is consensus based, and we don't just let individual people decide when we do and don't go to war, which is why there needed to be strong justifications for World War I and World War II, us entering them. And that actually is a great strength of our system. It is not a demerit. It's actually really good when every single person has somewhat of a say in whether or not their sons and daughters go to die. So, like, I actually really appreciate that part of our system. And when people lie about the reasons that we go to war, then we're screwing with the foundational principle of that system, which is why it's wrong.
Well,
You
yeah, I mean, it's
can't do that.
even the times where we pulled shit like the War with Spain, like the Spanish-American War, like we blew up our own ship.
Blame the main on Spain.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, just blame them on it. But like, at least we're honest as saying, oh yeah, we just want the Philippines and we want Cuba. That's what we want. We weren't like, oh, this is a threat to our democracy. No, we just want their shit. We'll
Spain
take
is a
it.
threat to our democracy, guys.
Yeah, that's all we
Look at
did.
it.
We just took it. So yeah, we lied about wars beforehand, but it was in a smart way. It's like, we're not lying about why we're going to war. It's like, no, we're going to war because of the Cuba and the Philippines. But no, we actually also, oh, this is a tragedy what happened.
Well, at least there was a version of Monroe Doctrine being practiced there too.
Guys,
and-
we're
and-
defending democracy, though.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Blew up our own ship. I mean, that's amazing. So, Mr. Ye, what do you think about anything?
I don't have thoughts, actually. Nothing
Oh.
coherent goes on up here.
Oh, damn. So, it's been a while. So, what's your thoughts on RFK and Tulsi being confirmed? Possibly, maybe.
So, I'm going to get some shit for this. I've really never gotten the RFK hype. I know his views have changed now, but he has a history of being pro-abortion. He's massively in favor of green programs, not even just hey, let's have some solar panels, actual let's cripple the economy with environmental regulations. And he has a history of being anti-vax, and not just anti-COVID vax, vaccines that have been proven safe and effective time and time again. And I get it. He's against seed oil. He's in favor of being healthy, getting rid of high fructose corn syrup. But there are so many more people you could have chosen that would have gotten that point across without also having all the baggage he's got.
Well, former President Mike Pence, my answer to you primarily would just be that the voters from RFK's coalition came together to help us win this election. And this was part of what Trump essentially promised them, is that RFK would have a part in the government. 90% of the things that you just brought up have nothing to do with being part of HHS, except for the vaccines. And honest to goodness, we changed the definition of vaccine in the midst of all of this nonsense with COVID. So I very much would like someone who is at least mildly skeptical to be present, because as he's been saying over and over in the confirmation hearings, he's pro-vaccine. But he doesn't want particular vaccines to be in, and he wants to investigate if there are any potential links in these vaccines. And I'm not going to become a middle-aged Republican soccer mom talking about how vaccines cause autism or something like that. But I actually am okay with someone who is mildly skeptical of it actually investigating it and following the science. And I believe RFK will follow the science. And with all the other crap that I disagree with him about, that's not his department. He's HHS, so I'm fine with
American Nerd for 2. Was the U.S. honest about going into World War I rap? Yes, they were. They were. World War I is justified that we got into. So, when that happened. Was it just what was the ship that got sunk again? The
Lithuania.
Yeah, it was the Zimmerman Telegraph. That's really got us into it. For those that didn't take a history class, that's when Germany's like, hey, Mexico, could go attack America for us, and we'll give you money. That's why we got involved. But
you have to think about the premise of it. So there were very deeply legitimate arguments for both staying out of and going into both World War conflicts. But at the end of the day, like the calculation made by people like Teddy, like Woodrow Wilson, and like all the other people who choose inevitably to intervene, um, the worlds under the allies we determined would be better than the world controlled by the other side, and that they would be better trade partners, and that we would just enjoy being in that world more. That was a much heavier calculation in World War II when we were thinking about how trade would change with the Reich being in control of Europe and everything else. But yeah, no, at the end of the day, we also decided that we wanted to be more in control of everything, and being on the Allies side ultimately was the most lucrative thing for us. So at the time, even though we are kind of turning against interventionism to some extent with the MAGA platform, I think you can like talk in a justified way about why those things that we chose to do in World War I and II were pro-American. There's a debate to be had, is my point.
World War I was like, you could argue about that, but World War II is like, we literally got attacked. So
yeah,
and Germany declared war on us. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
They made it pretty hard for us to not go over and own them. So
yeah,
you know, it was kind of
bad.
bad.
World War I, though, you could argue, well, maybe the Central Power. It's like it's one of those things where we got in because when you have Germany telling Mexico to attack us, it's like, yeah, we should probably do something about that before they think of something dumb like that.
But, yeah. 1930s America First really got trounced by Hitler being the most retarded leader on the face of the planet in that specific moment.
Whoa, slow down. That's such a hot take.
Hitler?
No, like in that, like, can you not think, like, in that particular moment where he called Mexico, was that not like one of the biggest faux pas of the 20th century?
World War I,
that was World War I. Yeah.
Oh yeah, never mind. I'm getting my crap mixed up. But you get what I mean, right?
World War II, he literally, like, he didn't have to declare the U.S. and he did.
No, he didn't have to.
He just
did.
Like,
he did because Japan did, and they were allies. So apparently that meant he had to immediately.
He never had to, and
he didn't have to. I think he just,
that was his first time he shot himself, but not that.
Yeah, Adolf Hitler is a bad person. He was not good. He was not smart.
Well, I mean, like, I could talk all day about like my feelings on Adolf Hitler, but like in that particular moment, I was just calling him retarded.
Well, he is. I mean, like, that's not a hot take. The guy was a shit leader. He was retarded. He was one of the worst people in human history. I mean, there's no hot take about that.
Well, it's like really funny because you talk to people that like believe in an alternative narrative for World War II, and they really love talking about like the first 2 years of the war, where everyone was like praising Hitler for every good decision his generals made. Then, like, you go to like the end of World War II, when all of his generals were making bad decisions, and then, you know, the ones that potentially made good decisions, Hitler wouldn't listen to anymore because he became schizophrenic. Like, it's really funny.
He was always schizophrenic.
It's really funny.
Well, he was kind of like that, but he just got lucky the first couple years.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. Listen, they literally got lucky in the first like 3 years of the war, but then they effed up. I mean, why would you invade the Russians during winter? Why?
It's like someone didn't learn from Napoleon.
Yeah, just learn from Napoleon. Don't attack. And if you're gonna attack them, dig in during the winter and sit there for 3 months. Don't. Oh yeah, let's go attack Moscow when it's freaking -50 out and they got the Siberian units here. What's the worst that can happen? All right, Lord Rhino for 5. World War II was justified war. Germany, Japan definitely pushed the limits with every country. Well, yeah, they literally attacked everybody. So. American Nerd for 3. Thoughts that Wilson dreamed for peace after World War I rap? It was retarded. I said it. The Treaty of Versailles was a disaster, but Wilson's a dumbass. So. That's fun. It got cold. Stupid cold. Well, yeah, I mean, it literally got very cold. So. Never learned from Napoleon. Very dumb. Why did Japan attack Pearl Harbor? Well, we embargoed them, but we had our reasons. We had actual reasons to embargo them. So.
Yeah, we embargoed them, so they were not very happy with us. So then they tried to basically cripple our navy, our naval fleet. And then they didn't attack the repair yards or like the fuel stations or refineries or anything. It's like,
and I don't think our aircraft carriers were even there, so it didn't do anything.
Yeah, no, they took out a bunch of. It definitely took out a lot of shit, but it wasn't like
important.
Yeah, it wasn't anything that we couldn't immediately recover from. Like there was
I
no crippling involved.
I think global interest between the United States and Japan would cause an inevitable conflict in the Pacific theater. I guess like my take would personally be that there were some avenues they could take to delay conflict with the United States, but they chose, hey, you know what, let's just go ahead and do it. And you can say that we provoked it or they provoked it. I don't care what your argument is. It was inevitable in some ways in my eyes.
Um,
But like the thing about this is like, why do people not understand how horrible the Japan was, Imperial
oh yeah,
Japan
well
was during
because
World
everyone
War II?
obviously knows what Germany did.
Everybody's obsessed with Germany, and then like none of them like look into what Japan was doing on the
Japan, oh my
islands,
gosh! I
or
mean,
mainland China, or South
what
Korea.
city
Like,
was that? I forgot the name of that city.
Nanking.
oh,
Oh yeah, look
Nanjing.
that one up. You want to see it? Like, no one talks about that though. I mean, just like
There's the comfort women, and if you don't know what that is, you can go look that up.
Oh,
It's like a little bit too risque to talk about on a
it's damn.
live stream.
It's
The
bad.
comfort women's pretty
Lord
bad.
Rhino for 5. Oh, sorry.
Unit 731 human experimentations. It was worse than what the Soviets were doing. So yeah, go look up Unit 731.
Lord Rhino for 5. Hitler wanted to war with America. Pearl Harbor just gave him reason to declare the war. Also, Germany invaded the Soviets in June. I know they did in June, but they effed up because they did not prepare for the winter. And instead of stopping when they should have, they just kept going. And well, sheer manpower overwhelmed them. Human wave tactics. That's what Russia's special. How they never not use human wave tactics, Russia?
I was gonna say it's always been pure numbers.
It's been a long history of them doing that, and it's really interesting when you look at like Russia engaging in war in Ukraine before and after they owned that territory. Basically, what they would do is that they would like bring their soldiers in, and like as the invading army approaches, they would just burn down every single village in the Ukraine territory. So that like there was no place to stop, there was no place to rest, there was no food to harvest, there was like nothing. So like their strategy was basically let's make the lands barren in the borderlands and then retreat back into actual proper Russia while like the enemy army starves to death. Like that was their strat for so long. So yeah, human wave tactics and yeah, using Ukraine as a barren buffer. So,
American Nerd for 5. Why did Wilson think the Allies were going to listen to him as a at the peace conference if we weren't in the World War as long as them? Well, because Wilson was actually, this was one of the times he had a brain. It's like, wait a minute, we're the reason you assholes won. Your lines were literally about to collapse upon themselves. Should we have a say in this? And they told us to go F ourselves. So Wilson's like, all right, bye. That's what happened. I mean, like, literally, that's what happened in World War I. We saved the Allies. Their lines were about to cave in France. No one talks about that. But our troops reinforced them, and they won. So, Unit 731 included syphilis infections, experiments similar to, it's Unit 731 is,
Ooh.
fun. Russia's using North Koreans as human shields. Yeah, when I saw, like, North Koreans are fighting Ukraine, I'm like, wait a minute. Why? Why is Kim Jong-un just sending troops to Ukraine? Why?
Best buds. You don't get it. You wouldn't get it.
And like,
you'll never get it.
Aren't they like 90% are dead already or something?
Probably, honestly.
Just human wave tactics. That's what Russia does all the time. All right. British carriers who got slammed by the kamikaze only had dents. Well, yeah. Well, yeah. You mean American? All right. Stalin would have let every man, woman, and child die before the Germans got to him. Oh yeah, Stalin would have. All right. Remember when Canada's literally invited a former Nazi to celebrate stopping the Russians? Oh yeah, that's right. They invited a former Nazi officer to celebrate stopping the Russians. But all right. I think that's kind of it. Yeah. If anyone got any more super chats, any more questions, concerns, comments, or just want to support the channel even further, best way to send me super chats now. Last calls for super chats, folks. Last calls for super chats. Wilson was one of the worst presidents. He was. He was. All right, John, you got anything else to say?
Nope, we've covered a lot of different topics.
Freaking
Pray for the people in the tragedy, and cross your fingers for everybody getting confirmed. Okay.
yep. American Nerd for 10. As a Filipino American, I think it's important to look up and never forget what the Japanese did when they occupied the Philippines, particularly what they did during the Battle of Manila in 1945. Oh yeah, Philippines were fucking brutal.
Oh yeah, I mean, to give you guys an idea of what he's talking about, essentially they would do a tactic that a similar army has done in the past couple of years. I won't tell you which one. You have to figure it out for yourself. But the Japanese soldiers would essentially use Filipinos as meat shields. They would hide in buildings and bunkers and hospital tents and stuff like that, with Filipinos, so that if the Americans wanted to kill the Japanese soldiers, they would have to kill Filipino civilians along with the soldiers.
I mean,
Direct
like,
meat shields.
The Philippines, like, everyone talks about Iwo Jima and stuff, but the Philippines were brutal. I mean, that was bad. But
No.
yeah, and I believe that's where those two soldiers like lasted for like 50 years or whatever. Like, it was the
No.
Philippines, I believe. It's like they kept fighting for 30 years. All right. Hitler couldn't stop for the winter because it gave the Soviets more time to remobilize. You could just dig in though. If you kept pushing, your lives would cave in. So, Lord Rhino for 5. Wilson should have never destroyed the European monarchies. Oh, I agree with that. That was stupid what they did. The Treaty of Versailles was a freaking mess. But that's what the Allies did. That's smart. Alright, I think we're on the stream here, guys. Thank you all so much. We shall see you guys in the next stream, video, wherever you see me at. Godspeed.